Across the world, symbols rise. Not chosen for marketing, not crafted for convenience, but forged from culture, history, land, and legend. This is the Nations Football League, a universe where every team is a myth, every logo is a story, and every identity is rooted in the soul of its city. We begin in Asia Pacific, where ancient spirits meet neon futures. In Tokyo, the Neon Tigers were born from a question. How do you honor 1,000 years of tradition in a city that glows like tomorrow? The tiger, guardian of the East, was chosen for its courage and spiritual power. But in Tokyo, nothing stays ancient. So the tiger was reborn in neon, a creature of light, electricity, and modern identity. It's a symbol of a city that never dims. In Seoul, the quantum foxes emerged from folklore and physics. The fox, known locally in Seoul as the Gumiho, is a shapeshifter, is clever and mysterious. But Seoul is a global tech powerhouse, so the fox evolved into something digital, something quantum, a being that exists in many forms at once, a symbol of intelligence, innovation, and myth woven together. In Shanghai, they chose the Jade dragons, not simply because the dragon is China's eternal emblem, but because Jade itself carries a meaning. Purity, virtue, nobility. The Jade dragon represents a city where ancient dynasties and futuristic skylines stand side by side, each reflecting the other. And in Sydney, the surf guardians rose from the waves. Australia's identity is tied to the ocean, its beauty, its danger, and its vastness. The guardian is a protector spirit, shaped by surf, sun, and coastline, a symbol of resilience, freedom, and the endless horizon. Now we move to Europe, a continent where history breathes through every street. And in London, the sovereign lions stand as a reminder that the lion has been the symbol of British power for nearly a millennium. Not a wild beast, but a crowned one, a creature of authority, legacy, and endurance, chosen to represent a city that has ruled, fallen, risen, and endured again. Paris is the Midnight Spirits, a reflection of a city that is both beauty and mystery. Paris by day is art, Paris by night is myth. The spirit represents the unseen presence of romance, philosophy, and revolution, the soul of the city that lingers long after midnight. Berlin forged the Iron Wardens, a symbol of resilience and structure. Berlin has been divided, rebuilt, reshaped, and through it all, it has stood watch. The Warden is a guardian of order, a figure of discipline and unbreakable resolve. Barcelona embraced the Solar Griffins, creatures of courage and vision, half lion, half eagle, reborn in Mediterranean sunlight, a symbol of passion, artistry, and cultural fire. Now we descend into the emerging markets where rising nations forge rising legends. Dubai chose the Dune Scorpions, creatures of precision, patience, and desert survival. A reminder that the city rose from sand into the sky through ambition and calculation. Singapore created the Neon Stingrays, graceful, intelligent, and tied to the sea, a maritime nation glowing with futuristic energy, where water and neon coexist. Cape Town fused nature and weather to create the storm leopards, silent hunters shaped by coastal winds and dramatic skies, a symbol of Africa's wild beauty and raw power. Mumbai embraced the monsoon cobras. Sacred, feared, and revered, the cobra is divine in Indian culture, and the monsoon is the heartbeat of the city. Together, they form a creature of rhythm, chaos, and spiritual presence. Now, we cross into the United States, the global West, where American myth becomes global legend. New York stands as the Empire Titans, a city of giants, ambition, and relentless drive. The Titan represents scale, the feeling that everything in New York is larger than life. Boston chose the Liberty Phantoms, born from revolution and haunted by history, The phantom is the lingering spirit of rebellion, a reminder that liberty was not given, it was fought for. Atlanta crowned itself the Heatwave Kings, a city of cultural royalty defined by heat, rhythm, and fire. The king represents pride, swagger, and a city rising with confidence. Detroit forged the Motor Hydras, a creature of industry and reinvention. The Hydra, many-headed and ever-regenerating, mirrors a city that has rebuilt itself time and time again. We move north to the Pacific, where cold shapes creatures of legends. Seattle summoned the Frost Krakens, mythic beings of deep water and icy mist, a symbol of the Pacific Northwest mystery and maritime identity. Vancouver carved the Glacier Bears, massive, ancient, and calm, a creature shaped by frozen wilderness and quiet strength. Toronto crowned itself the Northern Crowns, a symbol of leadership, discipline, and winter identity, a city that stands tall in the cold. Minnesota embraced the Blizzard Yetis, beasts born from whiteouts and sub-zero winds, a reflection of a state defined by winter's extremes. Now we return to the American Heartland, where the land itself shapes identity. Chicago forged the Windforged Golems, creatures of stone, steel, and purpose, a city built by labor and brought to life by industry and wind. Kansas City chose the Prairie Bulls, sun-forged, thunder-hooved, symbols of frontier power, a creature that charges forward without hesitation. Milwaukee reforged the Iron Badgers, territorial, stubborn, and unbreakable, a nod to Wisconsin's industrial backbone and the tenacity of its people. Oklahoma City embraced the Tornado Wranglers, cowboys who ride towards the storm, not away from it. It's a symbol of courage in the face of nature's fury. Now we rise into the American West, where altitude, neon, and divinity collide. Los Angeles ascended with the Solar Seraphs, angels of light and aspiration. A city defined by sunlight and myth could choose nothing less than a celestial being. Las Vegas unleashes the Neon Vipers, serpents of danger and temptation, a creature growing with the electric energy of the Strip. Denver awakened the Alpine Mammoths, mountain-born titans, ancient and immovable, a symbol of the Rockies' eternal power. Salt Lake City revealed the Halo Stags, divine guardians of the mountains, serene, sacred, and spiritually resonant. And finally, we arrive in the America's South, where culture becomes creature. Mexico City resurrected the Aztec Jaguars, sacred warriors of the sun god, obsidian-furred and turquoise-marked, a symbol of the empire beneath the modern metropolis. Rio danced into existence with the Carnival Raptors, creatures of rhythm, color, and celebration, a predator that moves like music. Houston rode the star winds with the Cosmic Outlaws, a fusion of Texas frontier myth and interstellar ambition, a renegade born from cowboy grit and NASA brilliance. And Miami embraced the tropic tempests, storms crowned with palm trees, beautiful and violent, reflecting the duality of paradise and chaos. And 32 teams with 32 separate identities and 32 symbols forged from the soul of their very own cities. This is not just a league. This is a world, a mythology, a universe of meaning. This is your first lore introduction into the nation's football league. One world, one league.